that psychologists used. Somebody was worried that maybe they have taken long without getting married. Maybe they are worried that maybe they are not normal. Maybe they may something may be wrong with their sexual reproductive system, and that's what it was called homophobia. But now it's been politically taken and used because it has a certain sound, and they're using it to hit on the head of people, intellectuals like us, that whenever you disagree with them, they say you are homophobic, which essentially labels you as mentally mad, as someone who's manic. And I want you to know this is stage number one in any genocide. Before people destroy in Rwanda, before people were killed, the Tutsis were killed, they were given names. They were called cockroaches. They were called ebiyenje. And later, this really legitimated the genocide against them. And so I refuse to be called a homophobe. And whenever I argue with them, I always ask to define words. Don't. It's very important. Do not discuss with a homosexual propagandist without first defining words, because because they're confusing people. You may find that yellow to them, yellow means red, and red means yellow, and white means black, and black means. So at the very beginning, I always say, look, before we start, I want to let you know that I don't recognize the word gay. Gay to me means happy. Gay means someone who's excited. But the word that describes this set of behaviors is a homosexual. Can we use that word? And when you go forward and then you say, look, gender, I understand gender has 24 different kinds of genders. Can we be very specific that for me, I recognize two genders, that's male and female, and in language, neuter, that is it. So when you discuss issues and you train people, you have very interesting discussions. And in fact, today, I know that many of these homosexuals, they're afraid of debating with me. Tamale, Professor Tamale doesn't want to debate with me because she's worried. Many of these Stella Nyanzi, Pepe Onzima, Frank Mugisha, many of them are afraid to debate with me because I take them step by step, process by process. And I think that's what I would encourage people, that we need to have a training, we need to have education. This really needs to be nationwide so that people can have an answer to respond to the confusion that these people are giving us. Now, finally, the issue of other countries that have legalized homosexuality, I draw your attention to South Africa. South Africa is the first country, and I think Rwanda is another one. Uh, it's dilly-dally. But let's start off with South Africa. Ever since they legalized homosexuality in South Africa has become the crime capital of the world. It's the number one rape capital. It's the number one carjack violence capital. It's the number one HIV/AIDS capital. It's now become the number one capital of gun violence. South Africa is a country that is falling apart, but Africans never had a choice. They were tricked into it by Dutch lawyers who put their European ways in the constitution, and they set it up, and they worked slowly to bring this issue up. But there was never, in fact, finally, Africa, they wanted to have they want to have a nationwide referendum a few years ago on this issue, and they refused. And South Africa right now, the pastors, the politicians, everybody's worried. Everybody's afraid. Boys are walking around. There's a state of insanity. So we have to choose, and I think it shows us. If you look at European countries, if you look at American countries, they're going down. These countries are going down, and they will not be able to reproduce. They are experiencing demographic winter. Once men turn to men, women turn to women, there is no reproduction. And because of that, there is no more growth of civilization. So actually, if you look at the demographics of countries like Japan, France, Italy, Spain, England, you find great difficult that these countries are not growing. And then finally, European Union has been persecuting Poland and Hungary. These are two countries that have a very strong Christian ethic, and their prime ministers are very strong. And so, the most latest information is that European Union is suing Hungary and is suing um, Holland, demanding that they legalize homosexuality. But these guys are saying, no, we don't want that. These are abnormalities. And I think the other area why America really hates Russia, why Europe hates Russia, is because President Putin, one thing he's done is that he's put into place a law that says promotion and propaganda to promote homosexuality is a crime. And for them, that's really so bad. Even though homosexuals are legal, that is, they can be able to be with each other in civil partnerships, but they cannot promote that ideology. So they really, really hate President Vladimir Putin. And I know President Museveni, when he has spoken a few times out, and I just want to really say that regardless of where you stand with as far as but it's put them in a very difficult place to remember that 2008 impose sodomy ideology, sodomy religion, sodomy politics.
Yeah, Pastor Ssempa there. We have time getting split here, like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Getting out of this place, and I would want to bring you up to speed. A quick one on this as we open our lines to get the feedback from our people. You know, in 2009, Uganda integrated. Okay, there were debates to integrate the nationalities of this act of homosexuality and lesbianism in the country, where anybody doing such a vice and act to a death penalty. Don't you think really we shall be using heavy hammer on something small, a person very innocent, because the actions are not even visible. What is your understanding on that? Maybe in just seconds.
Asking for anything we are saying that whatever is done homosexual but they always use what's called victimology. They keep saying, and you just say, no, we want to stop the spread of homosexuality. And secondly, the biggest way people that's 100% increment. That means really, it's like suicide. Really, you're putting yourself in a deadly place. Secondly, there's many diseases: hepatitis A, hepatitis B, HIV/AIDS, gonorrhea, oral gonorrhea, oral syphilis. There's many. These are very damaging things. Finally, you say that these things are done privately; they don't really affect us. I beg to disagree. You know, corruption is done privately. There's no crime that is done publicly. So to try to say that